All right, today we're jumping into a fantastic piece of satire by HARISHANKAR Parsai called Research Kachakar. It's this hilarious but also super sharp look at the world of academia and what happens when the pressure to just be somebody forces a young guy down a rabbit hole of, well, corruption and total absurdity. So let's get right to the piece of advice that kicks this whole thing off.
So the story starts with this brutally honest, kind of cynical piece of advice from our narrator's uncle, Kaka. And this one line, it sets up the entire conflict. In the world Parzai is painting here, the most important thing isn't finding your purpose. It's finding an alibi. If you don't have a label, a job title, something to prove you're busy, then society, and especially the police, are going to assume you're up to no good.
And our narrator is feeling this pressure, big time. He's an unemployed graduate, a nithala, which basically means an idler, totally aimless. So his uncle, Kaka, comes up with a solution. And it's not about finding a meaningful job, oh no. It's about finding a respectable-sounding shield. And that solution? Research. But get this, his definition of research is just pure satire. It's not some noble quest for knowledge. Nah, in Kay's world, research is basically a glorified waiting room. It's just a temporary alibi to keep the cops off your back until you can find some actual work. You know, the funny thing is, this cynical advice actually sparks something in our narrator. He suddenly remembers his old dream of getting a doctorate, a dream that got crushed by a professor years ago. But now there's a new department head, a Dr. Saxena. So he thinks, hey, maybe this time will be different. And with that, he heads off to the university. And this, my friends, is where things get really, really weird. The narrator is about to find out that this temple of knowledge has its own set of bizarre, unwritten rules. And his first meeting with Dr. Saxena, well, that's his initiation. So the moment he introduces himself, a couple of other students literally grab him, throw him at Dr. Saxena's feet, and then smear the dust from the professor's feet right onto his forehead. It is a crazy, almost violent ritual of flattery. One of the students just tells him, "We're just teaching you the rules." This has nothing to do with respect, you see. It's all about forced ritual submission. And this setup perfectly shows you the hypocrisy of the whole place. Dr. Saxena has two rooms. In this one, for the students, his feet are always kept dirty, ready for that dust-smearing ritual. But in the other room where he meets university officials and politicians, he actually washes his hands before he goes in. It's knowledge for the students, but business for everyone else. What a perfect metaphor for the corruption going on. So after our narrator goes on about his thirst for knowledge, this is the very first thing Dr. Saxena asks him, the most important question. Not, what's your field of interest or what do you want to study? Nope, what is your caste? And with that one question, the whole focus just shifts away from academics and straight into identity politics and power games. And boom, just like that, the whole illusion of academia just shatters. It turns out the department is split into these two warring factions, and they're based on caste. Dr. Saxena leads the Kayasta group, and his big rival, Dr. Sharma, leads the Brahmin group. If you want to get anywhere here, you don't need to be smart. You just need to pick a side. Our narrator, seeing he has no other choice, pledges his total loyalty to Dr. Saxena. Okay, so he's in the club now, and he's about to find out what research really means in Dr. Saxena's world. And let me tell you, it's nothing you'd ever find in a textbook. So Dr. Saxena explains his whole philosophy. Research, he says, is researching. The university is like a giant pool of knowledge, and, get this, it's already full. If you bring in any new knowledge, well, the dam would break and it would cause chaos. So the job of a scholar isn't to discover new things, it's to simply rediscover what's already in the pool. And, most importantly, to plug up any holes where new ideas might leak in. So what does this research actually look like? Well, the first student presents his findings, and it's just a detailed report on the rival professor, Dr. Sharma, running out of gas and having to walk 4 miles home with his family. This isn't academic work. It's just petty spying, designed for one thing, to make fun of the enemy. Everybody's laughing, so our narrator realizes he has to contribute something. He chimes in with this brilliant question. Was that really Dr. Sharma's wife in the car? And this one totally baseless suggestion, it's treated like a stroke of genius. Dr. Saxena is so impressed he actually hugs him and calls him an extraordinary talent. And it just keeps going.
The other students present their findings, too, reports on who Dr. Sharma's allies are meeting, for how long they met, whether they were smiling or not. This is the currency of the department. Forget discovering truth. The real work here is spying, gossiping, and scheming.
So, our narrator, he turns out to be pretty good at this little game. But his loyalty? Well, it's about to face the ultimate test. The stakes are about to get a lot higher, and his research is about to take a very, very dark turn.
So here's the situation. The position of dean of the university is open. Dr. Saxena wants it, badly. But his rival, Dr. Sharma, is the only other person in the running. For Dr. Saxena to win, Dr. Sharma has to be neutralized. This isn't about mockery anymore. This is about political elimination.
One night, Dr. Saxena calls the narrator for a secret meeting. He hands him a small bag and gives him this shocking order. This is it. This is the final stage of his research, the ultimate act of loyalty. Go frame your rival for a crime and destroy his career. The satire is completely gone now, and all that's left is this chilling, ugly reality.
Faced with this command, our narrator has finally reached his breaking point. The line between playing a corrupt game and actually becoming a criminal has been drawn right in front of him, and he has to decide which side he's on.
And his choice is instant. For just a second, he's frozen, as the weight of what he's being asked to do sinks in. This is the price of his doctorate. And then, without saying a single word, he throws the packet back on the table, opens the door, and he just runs. He runs away from that office, from that system, and he never, ever looks back.
So in the end, he doesn't get the doctorate. He walks away without that label his uncle told him was so important. But don't get it twisted. His escape is not a failure. It's a huge victory. It's a victory of his own conscience over this hollow prize that a completely rotten system was offering him. He chose to reclaim himself.
And that's where Parsai leaves us. The story is a wild, hilarious ride through a corrupt world, but it ends on this deeply serious question. It really forces us to look at ourselves and ask, when we're pressured to conform, to get ahead no matter what, what's the real price of our ambition? And at what point do we just have to turn around and run?